You opened your phone for one reason, and now you have completely forgotten what it was. That happens to almost everyone now, multiple times a day, and most people just laugh it off. They call it being forgetful. They call it being tired. But something about it feels different this time, because it is not just you. It is everyone around you. And it has been getting worse every single year. Think about the last time you sat in a waiting room. Look around in your memory. How many people were staring at their phones? Now, think about the last time you had a meal with someone. Was there a moment where both of you were on your phones at the same time? Neither of you said anything about it. It just happened. Think about the last time you watched a movie at home. Did you also have your phone in your hand? Or did you pause the movie to check something? Did you scroll for a minute and then realize 20 minutes had passed? Most people will say yes to at least one of those. And here is the quiet part that most people ignore. Nobody decided to live this way. There is a moment a lot of people describe. They are sitting somewhere comfortable. Nothing is wrong. Everything is fine. But they still feel a low hum of restlessness, like they should be doing something, like they are missing something. So they pick up their phone. Not because something happened, just because the feeling was there. And this is where things get interesting. Because that feeling did not always exist. Something created it. And most people have no idea what that something is. There are 3 questions this video is going to slowly answer. And the first one is, why attention has become so hard to hold. The second one is why rest feels uncomfortable now. The third one is why being alone with your thoughts feels strange. These 3 things are connected, and by the end of this, you will see exactly how. Let us start with something small. Notifications. You probably have hundreds of apps on your phone. Each one was designed to contact you. Not when something important happens, but as often as possible. Your brain responds to each notification the same way every time. It releases a small amount of dopamine. That is the chemical your brain uses to signal that something might matter. It is the same system that made early humans pay attention to movement in the trees. But now it fires for a like on a photo. It fires for a reply to a story. When it fires for a notification from an app you barely use, dozens of times a day, every single day. But that is not the strange part. The strange part is what happens to your brain between notifications. It starts waiting for the next one, even when there is nothing coming. It stays in a kind of low alert, always slightly scanning, always slightly unsettled. Now, take that one person, that one brain in a low state of alert, and multiply it by billions. Because this is not a personal habit. This is a shared condition. And this is where things get interesting. Watch a group of friends at a dinner table. Someone gets a notification. They glance at it. Someone else sees them glance. They feel a small pull to check their own phone. Not because they got anything, just because checking became the default response to any idle moment. The behavior is contagious, not in a dramatic way, in the quietest possible way. And the more it happens, the more normal it becomes, until the idea of sitting without a phone feels almost wrong, like you are somehow unprepared, like you are missing something everyone else can see. There is a word researchers use sometimes: continuous partial attention. It sounds complicated, but the idea is simple. It means never fully being in one place, always giving a fraction of your focus to somewhere else. The conversation you are having is real, but part of you is thinking about the message you did not reply to. The show you are watching is good, but part of you is already thinking about what to watch next. The meal is fine, but you took a photo of it before you tasted it. This is not distraction in the old sense. It is something quieter and more constant. It is a split that has become permanent. And most people do not even notice it anymore, because it has been this way for long enough that it feels normal. But something else is happening underneath all of this. Something that goes deeper than notifications. Think about the structure of a day, not your ideal day, your actual day. You wake up. Within a few minutes, most people check their phones, not because anything urgent happened overnight, just because it is the first thing their hand reaches for. The morning used to be a transition, a slow movement from sleep to waking, a few quiet minutes before the world came in. Now the world is there before your eyes are fully open. Your inbox, your mentions, someone's opinion, someone's news, someone's life update. All of it before you have said a single word to yourself. And this matters more than most people realize, because the brain needs a ramp. It needs time to shift from rest into engagement. When that ramp is removed every single day, the brain starts to lose something. It loses the ability to be patient with itself. This is where the bigger picture starts to come into focus. What started as a phone habit became a nervous system habit. And what started as a nervous system habit became a cultural one. Boredom used to be something people sat with. You waited for a bus, and you just waited. You stood in a line, and you just stood there. Your mind would wander. It would solve old problems without you asking it to. It would make unexpected connections. It would eventually settle into something calm. That space is almost gone now, and every waiting moment has been filled. Every gap has been closed. And the strange result is that people who are constantly consuming information feel like they are thinking less clearly, not more. Here is where the system behind all of this becomes visible. The apps on your phone are not random. They are built around a very specific understanding of human psychology. Every feature you use was tested on millions of people. The pull to refresh gesture was made to feel like a slot machine. The infinite scroll was designed, so there is no natural stopping point. The like button was created to turn every post into a small social experiment. Will people approve of this? Will they respond? None of this is accidental. There are entire teams of engineers whose job is to make you stay longer. Not because your time there is good for you, but because your time there is valuable to someone else. Your attention is the product being sold, and the price of that product is your ability to focus. This is called the attention economy. It is the system that runs underneath almost every free platform you use. The goal of the system is not to inform you. It is not to connect you. It is to hold your eye for as long as possible. Because every second you spend looking at a screen is a second that can be monetized. And this system has a specific effect on the brain over time. Studies do not have to be cited to see it. You can feel it yourself. Try reading a long article without stopping. Try watching a 30-minute video without skipping. Try sitting quietly for 5 minutes without picking up your phone. If any of those felt difficult, it is not because you are lazy, yet it is because your threshold for stimulation has changed. Short content trained your brain to expect a new thing every few seconds. When the new thing does not come, the brain starts to feel uncomfortable. That discomfort is not boredom in the old sense. It is something more like withdrawal, a low-level craving for the next input. And that craving is the whole business model. Bring this back to your everyday life for a moment. Think about the last time you were truly bored. Not scrolling bored. Not watching something to kill time bored. Actually, bored. sitting with nothing. For most people, that memory is years old, and when it does happen now, it feels almost unbearable. Like there is something wrong with the moment. Like you should not be allowing yourself to just exist without consuming something. That feeling is new, yet your grandparents did not feel it. Your parents barely felt it, but you feel it constantly, and you probably assumed it was just who you are. But it is not who you are. It is what the system trained you to feel. There is one more piece to this, and it might be the quietest one. When attention is constantly pulled outward, something happens to inward attention. The ability to sit with your own thoughts becomes unfamiliar. Not painful, exactly. Just strange. Like a room in your house you stopped going into. Most people now describe a kind of background noise in their heads. Not a specific thought, just a hum. A vague unease that is always there when it is quiet. So quiet stops being a comfort. It becomes a reminder of something unresolved. And the phone becomes the fastest way to mute it. But not because the phone makes anything better, but because it makes the hum go away for a minute, until the hum comes back, and you reach for the phone again. So here is the picture now. A system designed to hold your attention is competing with every other thing in your life. It is competing with your sleep, with your conversations, with your ability to focus on work, with your ability to be present with people you love. And it is winning, not because you are weak, but because it was specifically engineered to win. And the strange thing is that most people sense this. They talk about wanting to be more present. They download apps to limit their screen time. They put their phone in another room for an hour, and then they pick it up again. Not because they have no willpower, but because the pull is constant, and the habit is deep, and the system never stops. Think about a conversation you had recently. Not a great conversation, just an average one. With a friend, or a family member, or someone at work. Was your full attention there? Was their full attention there? Or were both of you somewhere between this conversation and somewhere else? That somewhere else used to not exist. There was no digital parallel world pulling at the corner of every interaction. When people were somewhere, they were there. Not performing being there. Not mentally half present while appearing present. Just there. That is not a nostalgic point. It is just an observation about what changed, and how quietly it changed, and how few people paused to notice when it happened. But you do not need to become someone who throws their phone away. This is not that kind of video. But there is something worth sitting with. You are not distracted because of a personal failure. You are distracted because distraction is now the environment. You were born into a world that was calm. And then, very slowly, it was redesigned to never let you be calm again. And the first sign that you are starting to see this clearly is exactly the thing that brought you here. That quiet sense that something about modern life feels strange. That feeling that you cannot fully explain. You were right to feel it, because something is different, and now you know a little more about why. You will probably pick up your phone after this video ends. That is fine. But maybe for 1 second before you do, you will notice the pull. Or just notice it. Not resist it. Not judge it. Just see it for what it is. A system that knows you better than you know yourself. Working very quietly. All the time. Even now.